London in the UK, and today on our Empowered Women show I have the amazing Laura Parrish. Now Laura's got a very, very special tale to tell. Now she's the other side of the pond in Virginia, USA, and what amazing technology that we can actually get together like this. But we first met Laura when she sat next to us actually in Austin just a few months ago in January, and we actually got on the cool bus as well, didn't we, going over to an event for the leaders. And I was listening to you talking then, and I really got a sense of what you were doing in your business and where you wanted to go. But I know you've got a very special story to tell, and I can't even begin to narrate it. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Laura, and if you could tell everyone when you joined Empower Network and actually what you've done, what your belief system was that actually drove you to do something very, very special just very recently. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Susan. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's quite an honor even to be on the same plane with you. So appreciate the time that you're giving me today. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and to me, life is all about the journey. We talk about that a lot. But you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm just like anybody else, stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, and you know, my daughter's 5 and my son is 2, and you know, we decided, my husband and I decided, when we had kids, you know, that I would stay home, that we didn't want a stranger to raise our kids, and so that was about a little over 5 years ago. And you know, it's difficult when you go from a 2-income household to a 1-income household, and our income was pretty much cut in half. You know, my husband makes good money, but still with two toddlers, you know, we were living paycheck to paycheck. You know, we didn't have anything extra. You know, we might go on a date night, you know, every 6 months, something like that. So, you know, I just felt in my heart there was something out there better. There had to be something better, and I think so many people can relate to that because we're all looking for something better. And a lot of us say, you know, is that all there is? You know, go to work 9 to 5, you know, or you know, be home with the kids. You know, being a parent is the most amazing, most important job in the world. But at the same time, when you become a parent, you kind of like lose your individuality, because all of a sudden you're responsible for these little beings running around, you know, and you know, they come first always, you know, but you still feel like you need to fulfill, you know, what you want, your desires, your dreams, and we all have that. And you know, I felt that I wanted to be able to contribute to our income financially, and I just wanted to bring back some of my own individuality. So, you know, I started looking for things to do from home, and you know, there's a lot of things out there to do from home. There are some scams, and there are plenty of things that are legitimate too, absolutely. So you really have to do your research, you know, and be careful before you jump into things. But you know, I started on another internet business on May 4th. And I found someone's ad and I started it. And then 20 days later, the funnel that it went to was Empower Network on the back end. And it only took me 20 days to realize that, yes, what I found on the front end was okay, but I wanted to know what Empower Network was about. And to me, it seemed like the real deal. You know, residual income that, you know, I can just work, and, you know, as long as someone's a member, I receive residual income from them every single month, you know. And how great would it be to be able to retire my husband, you know, so he could stay at home with the kids and I too. And, you know, I just thought there was something really special there. So the funny thing is I love my sponsor so much, who had brought me into the other business. I called her up and I said, hey, are you in this Empower Network thing? And she said, no. I said, well, you know what? I think I can make a lot of money with this, so why don't you go ahead and join? That way you can benefit from it because of the pass-up system, the compensation system. And she said, okay. So she joined at the $25 level, and I joined at the $25 level, you know, and that was it. You know, that was May 24th. Today is the 28th, I believe, of March, 2013, so just over 10 months later. And, you know, she joined and I joined, and really I just did Empower Network part-time, and this just goes to show how amazing the system is. You know, a lot of people feel like if you work from home, you have to sell something, you know, and I didn't want to sell anything. And the great thing about Empower Network is you don't have to sell anything. You know, I was doing it part-time on the back end, basically, and come September, which was the first event I went to in San Diego, I somehow found my way in the top 150 of all of Empower Network, and I was like, how did that happen? Because really, it was something that, you know, I knew I could make a lot of money with, and I was promoting, but it wasn't my main focus. I didn't have clarity at that time. At that time, I didn't know that you could put your energy here, 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 and here and make a little bit, or you could just focus on one thing and make a lot. So I wasn't clear when I went to San Diego. But still, not being clear, I made the top 150 out of like 22,000 affiliates at the time. So that shows the power of it, because, you know, you really don't have to sell anything. I mean, all you do is market and drive traffic to the Daves, and the Daves do the selling for you. So to me, that was just amazing. And when I got to the event, there was something, I don't know, I still don't know what it was. I think a lot of it, you know, of course, is the Daves, and because I'm a recovering alcoholic, I've been sober for just over 2 years now. You know, I really relate to Dave Sharp, and you know, just something about that event. You know, they say if you go to events that it will change your life. That if you were ever a skeptic, you won't be after you go to an event. And I have to tell you, the events are where it's at. I went to that event in September in San Diego, and just something clicked with me. And I went up to Dave Sharp. He was leaning against the stage after one of the presentations, and he was standing with his fiance. And I went up and I shook his hand. I said, "My name is Laura Parrish, and I just want you to know that in Austin, I'm going to be on your stage. I'm going to be in the top 35, and I'm going to have a team banner there with me." And he was just kind of taken aback, you know, because I'm sure a lot of people make promises, you know, because we all want the dream, you know, we all want the dream. But what a lot of people don't realize is it's still work, you know. A lot of people have a misconception that working from home means that you're going to sit in front of your computer for 15 minutes a day and money's going to fall into your lap, and that's not how it works. You know, it's work. So I'm sure a lot of people, you know, express those things to them, but how many people actually follow through, right? So I said that to him, and he looked at me and he said, "I believe you." He said, "You know, just your personality and for you to come up and say that to me and your determination, I believe that you can do that." And, you know, that's all I needed. That's all I needed to hear. And that was pretty much it. And I set my intention to him, and I thought that was it, right? So the next day at the conference, Lawrence Tam had gotten up on stage and spoken. I ran into Lawrence Tam, as he's wonderful. And then Tony Rush, one of my favorite people ever, got up and spoke. And after that, David Sharp said, "You know, I'm going to take a break for a minute from the leader speaking, and I just want to come off stage and talk to someone who really stood out to me yesterday and just really had something significant to share. And I just want to talk to her for a minute and let her share with you guys." And I was like, "Is he talking about me?" And he came off the stage and he started walking towards me. And of course I had a red lanyard on because I was top 150, and I was in the front row because, you know, I rushed in because I always wanted to be right in the front, you know, and pay attention to everything. And he did. He came right up to me. He's like, "Stand up." And I was like, "Oh," you know. And so fortunately, I had some team members there with me, and they were quick thinking, and they grabbed their phones and they started taking the camera into the video of it. But so I have it on video. But you know, he said, you know, Laura came up to me yesterday and introduced herself and set some intentions, and we have some things in common, and I just want her to share with the whole conference what her intentions were. And he asked me to share, and I told them exactly what I told him. You know, it was, "Look out for me. I'm going to be on stage," so on and so forth. And you know, that was it. So that was just like a wake-up call, I guess, because, you know, not only had I committed to myself that I was going to do something, and I committed to the co-founder of the company, but now I've been called out and I'm being held accountable by 3,000 people, because that's how many people were there, and that's just a huge thing. You know, that's a huge thing. And so there was no doubt about it. I had to do it now, right? I mean, I had to do it. So when I got home from San Diego, there was a shift. Okay, there was a shift in mindset. You know, as said, I knew that this was something that I wanted to do full bore, and I knew that doing it part-time, I ended up in the top 150. So I thought to myself, well, what if I put all the other things aside? What if I change my focus? What if I change my game? And so that's what I decided to do, you know. And there, like I said, there are a lot of things out there that are, you know, quick money, fast, or whatever, but I learned that focusing on one thing can really get you the results that you want if you're laser focused. So that's what I decided to do. You know, I put all the other toys away and I just played with the big kid toy. And so I did that, and come December and then January, the contest ended, and I found myself in the top 35, like I said I was going to be. Yep. And I was just super excited. And, you know, I got the information and flew out to Austin early and was able to go to, you know, the leadership meeting, which is just fantastic. Spend one-on-one time really, or not one-on-one time, but 35-on-1 time with the Daves, you know, where we really connect and mastermind and talk with them. And it was just amazing, and, you know, get to hang out with the other top leaders such as yourself, you know, and Tony Rush and Aaron Sophia Rashkin and everyone else. It was just really, really great. and you know, being treated, you know, it's amazing. You know, they take care of you. They take care of your team so well. You know, having limos pick you up from the airport and getting to sit on white couches and green rooms and food, and it's just, you know, once you have something like that, you're like, I don't want to go back. You know, like you just want to keep moving forward, right? So I was in Austin, and it was great. And I remember when Dave Sharp walked into the leadership meeting, it's like his eyes found me. And I could just see when he saw me, he walked up to me and he said, "You made it." And he shook my hand. And I was like, "Yeah, I made it," you know. And I had been in touch with him by email, and I was just like, "You know, I'm doing it, I'm doing it." And he was just super proud, and it was awesome. So at the event, you know, the leaders got to do some cool things, like have a reception at the ACL and go to a concert. And he actually sat down with me for about 15 minutes before that concert and asked where I was at in my business, how much I had earned completely, you know, all in all, what I was doing as far as blogging and marketing and this, that, and the other. And, you know, he gave me some advice on how to get to the next level and things that I should be doing and maybe some things that I shouldn't be doing. And my friend, who's also underneath of me in Empower Network and is also my graphic design artist, Nessie Ruiz, she happened to be there. And she started taking pictures, and she got this great picture of Dave Sharp and I that I love, and I just, you know, I look at that every day because it's such an inspiration, you know, because, you know, everybody talks about David Wood, you know, being homeless in a van, you know, and also David Sharp, you know, a recovering drug addict, a recovering alcoholic. I can relate to those people because I'm a recovering alcoholic, you know. If you would have asked me, and I tell my team this, if you would have asked me over 10 months ago if I ever thought that me, Laura Parrish, would have anything of value to offer anyone, that just people hearing me speak would inspire them or motivate them or give them a reason to keep going, I wouldn't have believed that about myself. You know, I wouldn't have. But because of Empower Network and because of this community of people that continually lifts each other up, edifies one another, believes in one another until we can believe in ourselves, that changed my life. That changed my mindset. And now I know better. Now I know that, you know, I have value, you know. Now I know I have things to offer people and that people want to hear what I have to say, you know, and you can know that too. You just have to have some passion and believe in yourself. And again, you know, Empower Network will believe in you until you can. And it's so amazing. So there in Austin, you know, I did get on stage 3 times. I didn't get a big check, but I will, okay?
You will. You
yeah,
will.
I will. But yeah, I got on stage. I won a mini iPad for ticket sales, and then you know, of course, the All In. If you're All In, you were asked to come on stage, and then my income, so I got to go on stage for that. So but another moment, you know, I had another moment in Austin because, you know, in San Diego, you know, I went up to Dave and, you know, I said, you know, set my intentions. Well, in Austin, when I was on stage after I got my mini iPad, his eyes again somehow found me out of all the people on that stage, and he came up to me on stage and he gave me a hug. And he looked at me and he said, "I'm proud of you. You made it." And I looked at him and I said, "Next time, I'm going to make it bigger." And, you know, he kind of just hugged me tight, and then he walked away, and that was it. But, you know, that was just that 5-second moment that I needed to hear that he still believed in me, that he just knows that I can do whatever I want to do, you know. And off to the races, you know, off to the races. So I came home from Austin. You know, like I think it was what, January 21st or 19th or something like that. So, and I just said, you know, I can do more. I can do more. I'm already doing well. I already set this goal, but, you know, you have 2 choices, you know. You can either stagnate and stay where you're at, you know, say, okay, I met this goal and I'm done. Or you can say, okay, I'm going to set a new goal and I'm going to move forward, you know. And so I set a new goal. And, you know, I didn't really specify, oh, I'm going to be top 10 or I'm going to make $50,000, because I really didn't know. You know, I did have clarity, and I knew that, you know, I wanted to move forward, but I really didn't know what to expect of myself, because at this point I've been shocked, you know, like I set this intention, I made it. I set this intention, I made it. And it's just like, wow, this is just such an amazing thing. And it's very surreal. It's very surreal, you know, to see things like this happen, because it's not normal. You know, it's not normal for someone to make $30,000 in 1 month. That's just not, people's mind can't comprehend that, because that's not what we're taught to believe. So it's kind of weird, you know. But I came home from Austin, and, you know, I said, I'm not going back. I got to be at least top 35 again, because I like the green room, and I like the white couches, you know, and I like the limo picking me up, you know, and so I got to do it better. And, you know, I just went full bore, and, you know, just really pushed my team, and I started offering some training that I thought really worked for me, and just thinking outside of the box or whatever. And here we are, March 28th, and the next conference is in Chicago here in the 22 days, I think it is.
Yep.
And I find myself really exploding. There's a contest that recently started, and I'm actually #1 in the contest out of over 100,000 affiliates. Just for doing what we're supposed to do, just for doing what the Daves teach us to do. The 8 core commitments. That's all we do. And if you listen to what they lay out for you, and do your income producing activities, and Tony Rush, Aaron, and Sophia Rashkin, all the leaders talk about what they do on a daily basis. There is no big secret. Everybody's like, what's the secret? What's the secret? You know what? I'll tell you what the secret is, and we all say the same thing. The secret is within you, because if you believe in yourself, okay, and as I said, if you don't believe in yourself, Empower Network, the people, the community will believe in you until you can, okay? But if you believe in yourself, if you have a passion for what you believe in and what you do, and if you speak things and set some intentions and make some commitments, it's almost like the universe conforms around you, and it's almost like talking things into existence, because once it's said, you've put it out there, and then, it's like, I've got to make it happen, I got to make it happen, and as long as you have that mindset that this is going to happen, and there's no turning back, and there's no negativity or anything like that, it happens. It's just crazy. So it's just been an amazing journey, really believing in myself, has been life-changing and life-altering for me. I am $150, actually I've had a couple sales today, I think I'm $100 away now. I'm $100 away as of we speak right this minute from my first ever $30,000 month, and I'm going to be hitting that, it's March 28th, and I'm going to be hitting that before March 31st, of course, and that's another incentive in the contest was the leadership speaking meeting that you can go to if you hit 30,000 in 1 month. So I'm super excited that I'm going to be able to be a part of that. And I like to tell people too the difference between what will happen to you when you focus, because I started Empower Network May 24th. Between May 24th and January 17th, which is 8.5 months, okay, of me doing it mainly part-time and then just really focusing October, November, December full-time, I only made $17,500 in 8.5 months. In 8.5 months. And if you think about the magnitude of this, in 28 days, because I am going to hit $30,000 today, in 28 days, I had $30,000 in 28 days, whereas when I wasn't laser focused, I made $17,500 in 8.5 months. Okay, so since I came home from Austin, I can't remember the exact breakdown for what I did for the end of January, but for February I think I did $12,000, and then in March I said, this is over, this is on, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, and I got laser focused and I decided to do it, and here I am 28 days later going to hit $30,000. So like I said at the beginning, you really have to put the kid toys away and decide to play with the big kid toy, and just leave all the others to the side, because it's all you need, really all you need. This business, as David Sharp likes to call it, and he brought this up in Austin, and I love it, I say it all the time, he calls it the business. There is no other business. This is the business. This business is the only thing that you need. This business will change your life if you just focus on it, if you just believe in yourself and do what they tell you to do. It's really that simple. People say, all the time, well, I hear if things are sound too good to be true, then they are. That's not true. Okay, that's not true at all. Like I said, it takes work. This is your own business, just like anybody else who opens their own business offline. You have to build it. You have to work at it. It's not just gonna, fall into place for you. But the great thing about Empower Network is you've been given all the tools to build it. So it's not like you're just saying, okay, I'm going to start a business, and then you're left hanging to figure it out on your own. It doesn't matter who your sponsor is or anything. As long as you follow the core commitments, you go through the videos, you buy the products, and you listen to the Daves, you can be where I'm at. You can be where Susan is at. You can be where Tony Rush is at. You can be where Aaron Rashkin is at. We're no different than anybody else. Seriously, we're not. And it's just amazing to me. It's surreal to me, how I've evolved in just over 10 months from a stay-at-home mom who, really didn't have much confidence about, what I could do and how much money I could make, and is this real, and anything like that, and having value or being able to add value to anyone, to 10 months later, and now here I sit being interviewed, people calling me all the time wanting to hear what I have to say, being put on the Empower Hour to tell my story, You know, it's just amazing, and I couldn't be more blessed. I can't thank the Daves enough for doing this. You know, they said that they were building a business by the people, for the people, and you guys, they weren't joking. That's what they did. That's what they did. They are marketers. They're not some corporate company, you know, who's just saying do this, 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 and this, and they tell you to do one thing, and then you actually do, and then they do something else. That's not how it works. They're affiliates, just like me, just like Susan. You know, they make their money the same way that we do, and it's just an amazing, ingenious, complete system, a complete company. I couldn't have ever asked to be part of anything ever any better. So I'm just blessed and amazed, and I cannot wait to see what's to come for the future, because if I'm where I'm at right now, it's only going to get better. So thanks for letting me share my story.
Oh, honestly, Laura, thank you so much. I mean, I listened to you on the Empower. I've listened to it several times, I have to say, because I found it so inspiring. But what I picked up on what you said is, when someone is coming into this for the first time and maybe they don't have that belief right at the very beginning, it's the fact that we all as a community have belief in them. Right. And we show that in everything we do. And if I may, I'm just going to share a very quick story. One of our brand new team members who's only been with us a couple of weeks, and we've known him in the past. He worked with us in another business, and he never really got it, and he quit, basically. But 2 weeks ago, he rang us up and he said, do you know, I am so fed up with my job. I really hate what I'm doing. I've seen what you guys are doing, and I really and truly want to do this. I truly believe now that I can do it. And within 2 weeks, well, in fact, the first week he made his first sale.
Wow.
He just went out and did what we teach him to do, the 8 core commitments, what we teach in our training, which is exactly the same. We tell them what to do, and they do it. So after that, we got a phone call. So we're 2 weeks in, night before last it was. Excited phone call. He said, you are not going to believe this. I said, yes, we will. He said, I have just made a sale, and the guy has gone and bought everything. He's just gone boom, boom, boom. And you know what was special about that? Just a few days before, he said, I know this is going to work. I believe it. I believe in myself. I believe in the company. I believe in the system. I'm going to go and buy everything.
That's right.
And he did. And you know, that is what's so important, because when you believe that you have a business, that you truly believe that you're an entrepreneur and that you can do this, and you set your intentions to do it, everything comes into place. And unfortunately, so many people that we see sort of sitting on the sidelines, who see the success of yourself, of the Tony Rushes, everybody else, they don't actually believe it themselves, and they don't actually make the commitment and do the work that it requires. And then they go, it's not working for me.
Right.
And there's no surprise, you know, and there's nothing you can do, and I'm sure you'll agree, until they have it in their mind that they're going to do it and they're going to succeed at it.
Yeah, well, you know, and on that note, and talking about the products, because I really didn't talk about that too much, but first of all, I agree with everything you said, and that's an amazing story. People need to understand that fear is paralyzing. You know, wanting what someone has and seeing what you do, or what the Rushes do, or what I do, or what the Rashkins do, they see it and they want it, but they're so afraid because they don't know, is this real, is this not real? And until someone says, this is it, I'm going to go balls to the walls, I'm not going to be a skeptic, I'm not going to sit on the fence anymore, I'm just going to do it, then things are going to start to change for them, you know. And Justin Varengia said it perfectly on stage in Austin. He said there's only one fault with Empower Network, and that fault is that it only costs $25 to get in. And he's right about that, because people say, well, it's only $25, so let me check it out, okay? And when you have that mentality, and you come into this with that mentality, well, it's only $25, so let me see if it works. Well, guess what? It's not going to work if you don't believe in it. It's not going to work if you don't work it. You have to grab a hold of this and treat it like it's $1 million business, because I will tell you something. This business is a winning lottery ticket, okay? It is. For those people who come in and say, well, it's only $25, and sit on the sidelines and allow fear to paralyze them, those are the people who are throwing away a winning lottery ticket, period. Because really, it's simple. All you have to do is believe in it, grab a hold of it, and follow instruction. Everything else is laid out for you,
yeah.
And the Daves do it for you, period.
And I totally agree with you there, you know, and the thing is, what we hear so often is they go, well, but I don't know how to do it. Well, we go, but you've got the training there. We teach you how to do it. And as you need each level up of the products that teach you the next thing to do, you go get them so that you learn from them and you apply them in your business and you see the results. And, you know, that's what it's all about. And, you know, I must say to you, your husband and your children must be so proud of you. They really are. So what does your husband do, Laura?
He's a general manager of a restaurant. It's a restaurant chain here on the East Coast. It's named O'Charlie's Restaurant. He's a general manager for them, and he's been with them for 9.5 years. And, you know, I have a 2-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter that are just brilliant. So, you know, it's been a blessing, and he couldn't be prouder. You know, we're trying to find a way to get him to Chicago so he can be on stage with me. But, you know, we don't want to leave our kids with just anybody, and we're having difficulty finding a nanny. And we were going to bring them with us, you know, because please bring your family. I mean, the Rushes bring their family, the Rashkins bring their family, everybody brings their family, but unfortunately my daughter's still in school at that time and we don't want her to miss school, but you know, it's just, it's surreal and it's awesome and it's wonderful. And you know, another thing that people ask me, you know, when I said, you know, they say, what do you say to a new person? And you know, another thing that we tell people is to go all in, and some people say, well, you know, I can't do that. I can't afford to do that. I can't do that. Why do you tell us to go all in? And a lot of people with the wrong mindset seem to think that, you know, well, they just want me to go all in because they want to make money off me. But you know what? That's not the truth at all. Because guess what? Whether you go all in or whether you don't go all in, the way that the compensation plan is set up for this, I'm going to make money whether you go all in or not. Because even if you don't, someone under you might, right? So the reason that we tell people that is because you can't earn on something you don't own, right? It's just like you can't sell something that you don't own yourself, right? But the thing is, and this is the goodness to honest truth, if you would have, you know, asked me, you know, well, did you go all in? No, I didn't go all in, but guess what? Hindsight's 20/20. And if I'd known then what I know now, this conversation that you and I are sitting and having would have happened between us 6 months ago instead of now. It wouldn't have been Laura Parrish 10.5 months into the business. It would have been Laura Parrish 4 months into the business in the same spot. But because I didn't know any better, right? Because I didn't know any better, and I just said, well, let me dilly-dally in this and let me upgrade here, you know, and I didn't figure it out so quickly, right? You know, it took me a little bit longer, but it doesn't have to take you longer, okay? You can be where I'm at. You can be where Susan Beasley's at. You can be where the Rushes and the Rashkins and everyone are at, all the other leaders, if you just get in, follow the 8 core commitments, have some passion about what you're doing, you know, that's all you need. And owning all the products allows you to earn on all the products. And that's just so key. And that's why I tell people to go all in. Because really, people say they can't afford to do it. You know what I say? You can't afford not to do it. You really can't. And that's not cliche. That's the truth. Because, again, I would have been where I'm at a lot sooner had I done that. Okay? But you know what? Some of us are a little hard-headed. And some of us have to learn the hard way. You know, and I did. But what's important is I'm here now. And what's important is I know better so that I can guide not only my team, but everyone who's in Empower Network to do the same, because that's what we're all about as the community, and lifting each other up and edifying one another and saying, hey, this is what you need to do. We're not telling you this to benefit us. We're telling this so we can help you on your journey, change your life so you can be where we're at. Because if you want what the leaders have, you have to do what the leaders do. And that's why we tell people to do what we tell them to do.
Well, what a fantastic end to this show. And I will add, because we're very, very honest and we have great integrity in Empower Network, we will have our income disclaimer here, because you can see the check behind me. You've heard Laura talking about what she's earned. We've done that because we work. If you get into this business and you do nothing, the results that you get are exactly that, nothing. So we would urge you, if you really and truly are watching this and you want to change something in your life, whether you want a small income or a big income, whatever it is that you want, just get in, but do what's required. Have the belief in yourself, have a belief in the system, because it delivers. but it takes you to make the effort, and when you do that, magic happens. Laura, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to meet you in Chicago. I hope you bring your husband with you. I'd love to meet him and see you on that stage. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My pleasure. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.